Hello everyone, welcome to my podcast, The Tatami Room. My name is Marton Teichner, as many of you all know, and I'll be the host of this podcast. The reason I'm creating this podcast, it's actually the first episode of this podcast and my first attempt at a podcast, but I'm actually going to be living in Nishinomote, Japan for at least 1 year, and I thought while I'm here I wanted to kind of create something that I could use to chronicle my time here. So that's kind of the inspiration for it. Just a little bit more background info. I am actually not in my tatami room. I apologize for that. White lie. It's not the most soundproof area that I'm in, so apologize for any interruptions. My tatami room is right next door though, so it's at least it's close in proximity. If I seem a little startled, I apologize. I just found my first roach hiding in my bathroom. I think that is kind of a part of daily life in Nishinomote that I just have to accept. He was a vivacious young lad, but I was able to to take care of him. With the intro out of the way, let's get to daily life, which is going to be the biggest section of this podcast. The first thing I wanted to talk about was my orientation that was in Tokyo. I flew from Seattle to Haneda International, and it was a 10 hour flight, I think. It was pretty smooth. Landing, arrival went well, except I didn't have a disembarkation card, and there's a uncomfortable minute or two where I was frantically looking for it and sweating profusely in the airport, but I figured it out. I ended up staying in Keio Plaza Hotel, which is where they put all the new assistant language teachers, or ALTs. It's going to be my role this year. And so I got to explore Shinjuku and Shibuya. They were coming from the US. I mean, I've been to Japan once, so I sort of knew what to expect, but it's still quite a shock. But for me, at least, it was a good shock. I had a really fun time in Tokyo. I enjoyed going to karaoke with some friends. I even attended a judo practice. I'm a black belt, first degree in the United States, but it doesn't really amount to much over here, at least in competitive settings or more elite clubs. And I forget where we went, but there were definitely some good people around. I managed to get a throw-in, so yay. I wanted to go to Yokohama, but the second day of orientation stretched a little too late, which is a little unfortunate, but hopefully I can make it up there sometime. The orientation itself was quite similar to a couple of the resident advisor orientations that I've been a part of. I was a resident advisor for 2 years, and they're not really going to prepare you for all that can happen on the job, just because this is a central orientation and everyone has a different contracting organization in JET. So I work for the city of Nishinomote, others work for prefectural governments or other city governments. Everyone's going to have a very different experience, and it's kind of hard to prepare people or everyone for that. For example, the ALT in Nakatane, just one short trip south of me on my island, they first of all, they got a really nice place, a lot more kind of advanced than mine. I'll talk about my little shack in a second. And they also told them to come back September 1st and not worry about going to work until then. Fortunately for me, that's not the case. I'm reporting for duty at technically 8:20, but I'm going to get there a little earlier to make a good impression, hopefully. I'm going to be reporting for duty at the Shakusho, which is the city hall. So yeah, we'll see. Everyone has a different experience here. So some of the presentations were interesting and useful during the orientation, but some of them were kind of boring. We'll see. Additionally, the food there was kind of mediocre, not my favorite, except the food at the reception, which was pretty good. I had this nice sponge cake there, but the rest of it was kind of subpar. After 2 days of orientation, I flew to Kagoshima, from Haneda to Kagoshima. I met my supervisor there, which was nice, and I got introduced to, I don't know if this is a cultural element that is generalizable to the rest of Japan, but I had a short meeting with my supervisor. At least he said it was going to be short. It ended up being two-ish hours. So that was kind of a surprise for me. I thought a short meeting was more like 15 to 30 minutes, but yeah, at least it was fun though, because I got to choose the kanji for my name. So I've been going with just like the katakana of Marton, which is Marton. Sounds a little funny. I haven't gotten used to it yet, but I was able to select the kanji for it, and I ended up selecting, it was kind of weird that I got to choose my own, but I picked the kanji for I, which is usually me, but in some instances it can be ma, I suppose. So ma, and then the jun kanji, which is pure, chaste, naive, genuine. I think I'm just probably gonna say like genuine or pure, but yeah, I like it. It's like, I don't know, pure eyes or genuine eyes sounds pretty cool. And that night I went out to drinks with my supervisor and one of his friends from college. It was quite an experience. The food was great, and I got to try some shochu as well, shochu and sparkling water. So that was kind of an interesting drink for me. The next morning, I took this fast boat. I don't know the exact specifications, but it's called the Topi. And it gets to Tanegashima pretty fast. It's about 90 minutes. And I got introduced once we arrived to the bando, the trap house, my apartment, also known as Little Gradishka, christened by my friend Marco. Whenever I think of this place, I just think of this meme where some guy goes, I mean, it's alright. And that's kind of the case. It's alright. I got a fridge, a stove. It's relatively clean. I mean, it is what it is. It's a small, like, apartment on a small Japanese island. So it's not really the most advanced, but it works. And I'm gonna try to, work with it, live in it. Yeah, hopefully no more roaches. It was a little disconcerting. And I think now that I've got some groceries and some supplies, and I've been able to get a little more settled in it, it feels a lot better. I like the futon, which is like the little like bed, but on the tatami floor. I've kind of been that's been new to me, but I've found it like pretty cool way to sleep. I don't know. I like it. The first couple days in Tanegashima or Nishinomote, a quick preface if I missed it, but Tanegashima is the island. It's a little south of Kagoshima, and Nishinomote is one of the 3 cities. It's the northernmost city. That's where I'm located. I was really busy. I had basically Thursday and a Friday where I was working, quote unquote, and that meant like running around buying stuff here and there. getting contracts sorted. I had a lot of contracts I needed to sign. Toilet contract, rent contract, gas contract. I had to call the AC person. I have AC now, which is great. I'm really happy about that. It's a game change. I don't know what I would do without it, but I was running from end to end the first 2 days. At least on Friday, at the end, went out for drinks again with my supervisor and my bosses. So that was kind of interesting. It was a fun time though. I got introduced to a judo coach, so I think we're going to be coaching the middle school judo team together, hopefully. That would be something really cool. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. First 2 days I also met the mayor, and I was also introduced to some of the Japanese work culture, which meant a lot of staying overtime and just staying busy while you were at work. And then also just kind of the attire as well. You couldn't really, people don't really wear shorts in a work setting in the US. Maybe some tech bros in California or the West Coast, but there's definitely a way that Japanese sarariman or salarymen and women dress. So it's a bit more formal than what I'm used to. So that was the first 2 days, and then over the weekend, one of the other ALTs on the island reached out to me. They've been here for 2 years, and they kind of took me and another new ALT around the island to show what it has to offer, and I was in for a pleasant surprise. Like, I knew the island, from pictures, it seemed really cool, and it seemed like, there's definitely some nice spots, but being able to see them myself was really, it was really something. It was a great experience. I saw a bunch of wild animals, including this little green tree frog, Tanegashima's main wild animal, the stray cat. They say meow meow here, apparently, instead of meow, which was also a little surprising, but it's great. I'm not a big surf person, but there's a lot of places to surf here. I watched the people surf for a while, and they got some technique. The beaches were abandoned. It was kind of bizarre. In the US, you would see beach towels and umbrellas strewn about, and people here and there, but no people on the beach. It was just, we had the beach to ourselves, and it's this really scenic beach with these like sandstone like rocks and caves next to us. It was it was almost like untrammeled by man, person, but there were a couple plastic bottles here and there, so not quite, but almost. So that's been it on today. It's Sunday. Just shopped and tried to recharge a little bit and organize my household. So that's been the daily life section. I hope it's I'm planning for it to be informative, as well as just kind of like me rambling on and sharing some details about my time here with you. Also, I think this first daily life section was a little bit more cramped, just because I just got here and I have so much, the orientation, Kagoshima, and just getting to Nishinomote. I had a lot of things to share. Additionally, in the future, I'm going to do a current events section where I want to talk about something that's happening not in Nishinomote or just with me in general, to kind of give my take on it. But that stay tuned for next week. in any case, thank you for anyone who listened. I'm planning on doing weekly episodes depending on the success or my energy levels, maybe more, maybe less. But I enjoy this format, and hopefully I need to get a little bit better equipment as well. But this is a good start. I want to end with the stat and the word of the week. The word is pon. It's at least that's how my supervisor used it, and apparently pon or pompon means to stamp. Like pompon shiteiru is like stamp, and now that I have my own like personal seal with my kanji on it, I was doing a lot of pompon on documents earlier in the week. The other stat of the week, or that was the word of the week previously, and the stat of the week is 78 miles per hour, which was the sustained wind speed of Typhoon Khanun, which is currently headed here as we speak. People are preparing for the typhoon, buying up supplies. The grocery stores are getting emptier. This will be my first typhoon, so if you want to find out what happens during the typhoon, what my experience is, and just to see whether I'm still kind of kicking it over here, then tune in for next week. Before I leave, I wanted to share a little practical joke of mine that I recently did. I occasionally wont to write poetry, and I did write a piece of poetry, except I feel like sharing it. Maybe I wasn't brave enough. I don't know how to put it. I didn't want to put my name to it, so I thought of something funny, and I attributed it to Marcus Aurelius, famous Stoic Roman emperor, and posted it on my Instagram story. Now, if people paid attention, they could have realized that there's definitely something going on, since Marcus Aurelius, first of all, did not speak English, unless they translated his work. Probably was not aware of the Shakespearean sonnet and the iambic pentameter that I tried to use. And there was one other thing. Well, I think the date was also off. The final thing is the use of the word frigate in the poem. And unfortunately, I don't believe our dear Marcus lived long enough to know what a frigate was. But anyway, that was just something I thought was funny, and no one really picked up on it. So I don't know. It's I got a little laugh out of it. In any case, thank you all for tuning in to the Tatami Room. It's been a pleasure. Again, my name is Marton Teichner. It's your first episode of the Tatami Room. I'll be back next week. Hope everyone is staying safe, especially if they also have a typhoon coming towards them, and everyone has a great and happy week. Peace.